Hey, mistake number 5 today of the 7 biggest mistakes that people are making when starting a business. Join me because you're not going to want to miss this one.
This is the Franchise Pitfalls and Profit Show. Each week, we bring you the challenges and triumphs of being in the franchise development and consulting business. The things you need to make money faster. And now your host, one of the most successful franchise developers in North America, Don Shin.
Hey, we're doing it Letterman style again. We're up to number 5 of the biggest mistakes that people are making when considering owning their own business or starting a business. And the decision or the number 5 in the list is taking too long to make a decision. I know you want to do a thorough job here. I get it. And I also know that we're all different. Some people need a lot more information than others to make a good decision. But I've also seen many candidates simply be unsure of themselves, a bit of anxiety or anxious, or maybe they're downright fearful of making this decision. People will come up with a lot of reasons or they're just procrastinators and they delay a decision that we all know in the end they're going to make one way or the other. So, what does this extra time really do for you if you're adding it from the standpoint of making this decision to start a business? Well, what it's going to do, candidly, in my 24 years of doing this, it is going to add unnecessary stress to you and also candidly to your families, the stakeholders, the people that are involved in this process and or are seriously impacted by this process. When you're the individual, you're considering this for you, and you're fearful, you're worried, you're even as simple as that, some minimal anxiety, this still overflows onto everybody else in your process, in your household, all the other stakeholders. So, you do not need to do this in an already serious situation, serious discussion, or serious situation and decision that you have to make. So don't add extra concern or stress that's really unnecessary. So, people will ask me, Don, how long should it really take me to make this decision? And, generally speaking, it's going to take probably 75 to 90 days in my experience, where you need that much time to do a number of the things in the due diligent process. But I've also seen if you're going much more than 90 or maybe 100 days, again, you're really starting to add components and add that extra stress that you don't really need. So I don't mean 70 to 90 days to actually be opening your business. I mean simply making the decision from the day you start considering this to actually signing an agreement, making a decision, signing an agreement, and having moved through. Again, I'm talking from the perspective of a franchise as potentially your first model, or the way to start your own business, or a model and a way to start a business. So 75 to 90 days, 100 days should really be a genuine, honest amount of time for you to make an educated decision. If you begin your funding requirements early, that I would say is a really good thing. Why do I say that? Why is that important? Because in franchising, it's become very similar to the real estate industry. Very rarely today do you buy a home without getting what's called pre-qualified. And so beginning your funding requirements in a franchise situation, or in starting your own business, beginning that process early if you need funding, it's a good thing to do. If you never actually start the business or never actually buy a franchise, that's okay. You never draw the money out. You never get a check. You never take that money. Just like if you never buy the home, you can never find a home that you want. And so that pre-qualification meant nothing other than you were able to present yourself to a seller that present yourself as a qualified candidate. And again, this is really good if if you're looking at franchising, if you're working with a franchise coach or a franchise consultant. Um, Again, they'll have references for you, reliable people who fund franchising all the time, and you'll be able to indeed get this out of the way and still make that timely decision in 75 to 90 days or so. Now, again, I'm not saying start your business, although if you get the funding started early, that means when you've made your decision and you're actually signing franchise agreements, if it's a business that's not a brick and mortar business, then indeed you actually can start your business quicker. Go to training faster and start your business quicker, particularly if it's a service business. A lot of businesses are at a minimum start from home, maybe move into a small, inexpensive office space, or even if it's start from scratch, finding office space is not that difficult. That it wouldn't hold you back. But if you go through a process of evaluation and due diligence, and you haven't started your funding, then what's going to happen is simply, again, it is going to add delays because it'll take you 4 to 6 to maybe 8 weeks in order to actually get that funding and get that approval. So what are some other ways? Lending is getting your lending started early, your financing started early is certainly a tip or a solution on helping you make a timely decision. Another thing would be to devote a particular amount of time. I always say 4, maybe 5 hours a week. And don't start this investigation when you know you're going away for 2 weeks on your dream vacation, your bucket list vacation of a lifetime. Don't start the decision and then 3, 4, 5 weeks into it, you're going to be away for 2 weeks. It just doesn't make any sense. Another one would be, if you have a major family event coming up. For example, we have a wedding coming up soon in the next 6 months. You could, again, if it's 6 months out, yeah, maybe you can do this. But if you have a major significant life event coming up in the next, say, 90 days, then you don't want to start this process and be delayed for 2, 3, 4 weeks because of the life event. It'll just, it just interrupts the flow and the focus and so on. So, look at what's going on in life and be sure you have the time to devote to this over the course of 6 to 8 weeks. Another solution, a tip, is to not go this alone, is to get an advisor, get a franchise coach, a franchise consultant. That's what FBE, my company, does. These people know the processes. They're going to educate you along the way as to what you should be considering. There'll be a sounding board. They're also going to help you stay on task to make, again, a timely, not a rushed, not a hurried, not a too quick a decision, but they're going to help you project manage all of the steps, all the things you should consider in order to make a great decision for you. And again, that's what our company does. We will help you project manage things along the way, educating you along the way, being a sounding board for you along the way. So wrapping this one up, mistake number 5 is don't take too long to make your decision. It's only going to cause you added stress, cause your family added stress, and it's going to delay the start of your business ownership journey and really the start of fulfilling the dreams that you're going to have for doing this in the first place.